So today we are going to discuss, among other topics, the payment scene in Central and Eastern Europe in a global perspective. This is, payments is a complicated issue because it's typically a topic where in every country there's legislation and very strong specificities and user habits, etc., etc. But we have all noticed that this field is not spared the globalization trend. And we can see more and more international companies penetrating the markets of Central and Eastern Europe. And there are examples here among these. So this is the website we're running about digital things in Russia. Can we get back to the panel? I will present to you some companies who are Western companies and have already started doing business in Central and Eastern Europe. There's the other case, Russian companies who are now penetrating Western markets. And they're supposed to be on stage today. So this is this go east and go west trend in a very fast moving and changing technological and business background we're going to discuss today. So I'm very pleased to present to you the speakers. Let us start perhaps, where are they? Yes. So Peter is the co-founder of SumUp. SumUp, if ever you didn't know it, which I do not for a moment believe, is a company that allows retailers to accept payments through mobile devices, bank cards payments through mobile devices. Peter, come on. So let us also welcome Mark from PAYMILL. So these both Western companies are currently expanding to Central and Eastern Europe. They will explain to you their current coverage and strategy in this area. Rafael, will you come here? Rafael represents Payleven, which is another company that offers bank card payment functions via mobile devices. Yury, yes, we're very happy to see you, Yury, from Moscow, from QIWI. You certainly, if you went to Moscow or any Russian city or even village, you certainly know what QIWI is. These cash-in machines where you can put cash and pay for your mobile phone bills or fines or even online purchases. And they're really ubiquitous in Russia and certain countries of the former Soviet Union. But not only that. As Yury will explain to us, QIWI is now an international company. They are doing business everywhere from India to South America and even starting business in the southern states of the USA. And they went public on the NASDAQ earlier this year, and I think it was rather a success. So here are examples of what I'm saying. Companies, Western companies going east, Russian companies going global. So this is a very exciting moment today that we're going to discuss. Perhaps we will start with Peter. So each of them will present briefly their activities before this discussion. Peter.
Thanks a lot. Can I have the clicker? There we go. Okay, so I'll keep this short. I'm a co-founder of a company called SumUp, and we help small businesses by solving their card acceptance problems that they have. We're in 11 global markets. We started out in October 2011, and our latest launch was in Russia, which is a very interesting country for payments. And then we're seeing a lot of traction and learning a lot of things about these markets. So what do we do in practice? Well, we have a number of different solutions for small businesses. We've got a card reader. So together with a card reader, you can accept card payments together with our app. We also have a point of sale solution, because when we were selling our card solution, all our merchants, they asked us, well, I want to have an iPad stand, I want to have a cash drawer, I want to have a receipt printer, I need a full solution. So we put together what we call the point of sale box, which is a box with everything you need to run your business. We're also working on a consumer app, which is, you could call it a wallet app, which makes it easy for someone to walk into their favorite store and pay just by showing up and being there. They check in once, and then every time they go in, we identify them through geofencing, and they can make a payment. I get asked a lot of questions about what makes us different. There are a lot of companies competing in this space, so to tell you a little bit about what SumUp does, I believe that if you're going to build a successful payments company, you have to build everything end-to-end by yourself. So that's what we've done. We've got our own EMV technology base, we build our own hardware, which is expensive, it takes time, but we believe in doing this ourselves, so we have control over the customer experience. We also have a payment institution license. It means that we can accept payments throughout Europe. We also focused on building our own proprietary payment gateway, our own risk and anti-fraud systems, and then we have a B2B and a B2C proposition so that we can help small businesses to build relationships to their customers. That's what SumUp does in short. Thanks a lot.
So, I'm Rafael from Payleven. I'm one of the co-founders and actually taking care of technology. Shortly after Petter, we're in the same space. We've been always asked if we're competitors. I guess we agree that we are in the same space. We're solving the same problems. So we're solving card acceptance and using this thing that you see here, for example, which is our chip-and-pin device, to allow people to accept payments, which is a royal pain for SMEs. Card penetration is not so big in the rest of the world. Founded in March 2012, so we are a little bit younger than the ones before. We're active in 9 countries. The most eastern thing that we have right now is Poland, but of course looking into expanding into other geographies as well. We're actually on 2 continents, which is also Brazil, which is a very, very interesting market, very emerging market. Maybe you can also tell a little bit about that one. We were the first European chip-and-pin solution, so we actually started this thing beginning of this year. Why chip-and-pin? Security, 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 right? So actually if you want to accept payments, then it's all about security. You want to make sure that your merchants actually get the money, what you can't ensure with some other technologies that you have. We're also FSI certified payment institution, so this means that we are a small little tiny bank, which gives you quite some control on the money flow, and you need to make sure that you're actually regulated and that you do the right things, build your risk and fraud systems, pretty much the same that everybody has to do in the space. What do we solve? Well, actually, the analogy is going from an intransparent market that you have currently in the terminal space into a pay-as-you-go market. This is especially interesting. It has to be easy to use. It has to be something where you can go and accept payments on the spot. Economically, it is 2.75. That's pretty much market rate that you have right now. And it has to be mobile and secure, which opens up a lot of new use cases. Take a delivery pizza guy who actually wants to accept card payments on the spot. So that's all for SMEs, and that's just the start. So how does it work? You enter an amount on a smartphone. This thing communicates with a chip-and-pin device. You enter your card. For the consumer, no change, right? So this is not something like, ooh, you have to do something else. You actually take your card as a consumer, you use it, you pay, that's it. For the merchant, a huge advantage. He opens up a new revenue stream. He opens up card acceptance for himself. Certified, whatever you want to have. What do we offer? We have, of course, tablet plus iOS plus Android. You can monitor your transaction history. You take a look at what happens. You can refund on the spot. You have receipts printed and non-printed. I was arguing the whole time that actually nobody needs the printed receipt, but to be honest, everybody wants to have the slip. Everybody wants to have the printed receipt, even though this is the receipt that everybody and every single one of you throws away. But you want to have it, the consumer wants to have it, so you have it. So we cooperate with very strong partners. We actually are a big believer of taking away the barrier. means that the merchant, which is the small medium enterprise, needs to find us wherever he usually buys something. Means we have a distribution deal with Apple. So if you go into an Apple store, not in the Ukraine, but if you go into the Apple stores in our geographies, you actually can take our solution out of the shelf, register, and within 15 minutes you can take payments. We have MediaMarkt in Germany, Micros, one of the largest POS systems, Poste Italiana, just a deal that we announced shortly in Italy. And we have also transportation business in Germany and Wirecard, which is a public listed company, a public listed bank in Germany as a strategic partner. So that's us.
Yeah. Who's next? It's me.
Who gets it?
Okay, I make it rather short and not so sophisticated. So I'm from PAYMILL. These guys are offline. So if you want to accept payments or if you want to pay with your credit card, you need to go with these guys. We built a company which helps online merchants to accept credit cards, and we try to solve their problems. And payment real hurts. So if you have a shop, a startup, and want to integrate payments, it's pain in the. It's not good. And there are three points where it hurts you. In the onboarding, where you need to make the contracts. It's in the integration of the payment. If you have an easy API, it's easy, but if you have an old stubborn system, it lasts 4 weeks to integrate it. And the last one is if you work with the big guys, you don't have a support as a startup. We tried to solve this, and how can you solve this? In terms of onboarding, you make a transparent pricing. You are one face to the merchant, so the merchant does not need to make contracts with 3 or 4 different parties. In onboarding, in integration, you have an easy API, which makes it really easy for your shop to integrate payments. And please have eye-level support. So if you want to have a shop, we are in 39 countries. And we allow you to integrate our payment in your shop. We are also the Far East, I guess it's more east than Poland. Unfortunately, we are not in the Ukraine at the moment. And I want to raise one question, and payment also hurts mobile, because this woman doesn't really looks not like she's hurt. But is this mobile? This is the question I want to raise. And for merchants, payment hurts also, because if you have an iPad which is mobile, you also need to solve the same questions: onboarding, support, and integration. And that's what my company is solving. That's pretty much it.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for organizer of this great event, for providing the opportunity to participate and provided a short introduction of the QIWI. Okay, QIWI was founded in 2007 as a result of the merger of the 2 leading Russian electronic payment systems. In May this year, we are a public company, NASDAQ listed, and we almost doubled since then. We started our business by building the self-service cash accepting payment network. Later on, we introduced the wallet solution, means that our customers would be able to sign up with us and establish the QIWI personal account and use remote interfaces to transact. By now, we have 60 million customers who use our QIWI payment network every day. 14 million of them we managed to convert to sign up with us, and they become the Visa QIWI wallet customers. Our infrastructure is 170,000 QIWI self-service kiosks and different kind of attended terminals. Our payment physical infrastructure is managed by more than 8,500 QIWI agents. More than 50,000 merchants accept our payments, and 210 banks who are our partner, whom we help to provide advanced financial services to their customers. We offer the wide range of the payments product and financial services, which can be accessed by our customers through all interfaces, including the self-service kiosk. We are running our payment apps on all existing mobile platforms, and of course the web interface. Actually, what we have done, we integrate the physical and virtual payment environments so our customers can transact in both worlds seamlessly. And this is the last slide. This is our announced results of the first half of this year. We generate $3.8 billion US payment turnover through our self-service physical cash accepting kiosk and $1.8 billion through Visa QIWI wallet payments. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yury. Thanks to all. So one of the key trends we can already see emerging from these, most of these companies is that online-offline convergence does not only concern retail, but also payments. We're going to discuss this trend a little bit later, but first of all, I would like to ask the Western companies, how do they consider, how do they view the Central and Eastern Europe markets, European markets? When did you, from the West, when did you start considering coming there? And is there a border between, for instance, the countries that are part of the European Union and the other ones, for instance, the Russia and the former Soviet Union? Is there a kind of virtual border that makes things more difficult there, or this is not a relevant way of splitting the countries?
Let me answer that just quickly. There's a regulatory border. So with a payment institution license, you can conduct business as a master merchant in all EEA states. So when we have to go to outside EEA states in Eastern Europe, then we have to find a banking partner or someone who has who's regulated to do the underwriting of the merchant. So someone has to look to make sure that they are who they say they are and that we can verify their documents so that we know who we're dealing with. That is one key thing that you have to solve.
Can you make it to the EEA? What is it?
European Economic Area. Yeah.
Okay. So I think you are already in some Central European countries, but not in the former Soviet Union. You are already in Russia, yes? In most Central European countries, including Russia, but you are not in the former Soviet Union.
That's right.
Yeah. So why?
I think the biggest border is that you have that Russia is also already very sophisticated, and that you have competitors there already, and that the payment methods are completely different. So in Germany is not a good example because even there card payments is not with a high share. But compared with Russia, where card payments are really low share, but you know it better than I do, I think that cash on delivery is very high there, and that is why your machines are working very good. I think coming with my solution, which is suited to card payments, I don't have a market there at the moment. I need to raise the market, but I'm too small for that at the moment. And if I wait 2 or 3 years, maybe Russia and all the other countries are more sophisticated in using card payments.
Rafael.
Yeah, so what Petr raised is definitely one of the major pain points that you have, which is regulatory. That's the first thing. Second of all, yes, Russia is different. So that's one of the few countries in the world where you have multiple wallets and multiple wallets actually work, right? So most of the time you have maximum one wallet that actually works. Russia is the only country, as being now the largest part in the CEE, where you have multiple wallets. So this is coming from the offline space that we are. This is not a natural thing to do. Plus the regulatory hurdle with the right partner is not a big one. But then of course there's fraud and risk, and coming from a Central European state, the spending behavior in the other countries makes it more difficult to adjust the systems. So it's not easy, but to be honest, if you take a look at smartphone penetration, if you take a look at card penetration, it's a super attractive market. So in Russia you have roughly 1.5 smartphone users per person. So that's huge. So it is definitely an attractive market, but there are borders, there are natural borders.
And how do other countries of the former Soviet Union, like Ukraine or Kazakhstan or Belarus, look from your standpoint as Western companies, Western payment operators?
To be honest, my point of view, it's the same. So pretty much Russia in this context is one of the most sophisticated countries. in payments. Maybe you can, coming from the East, you can say a little bit about that. But coming from the West and going into the East, it really makes hardly a difference if you go into Russia, Belarus, Ukraine, or even Kazakhstan. Yeah? So it's the same things that you need to adjust. It's the same things that you need to do. And it's a country-by-country thing that you need to do, which is actually even more painful.
Let me add my 10 cents to what you just said. Totally agree with you that the specific, what a Western payment operator see in the emerging market like CIS, this is the cash is the king. So basically, if you want to be the online e-commerce player in Russia, you have to deal with the cash. You have to find the channel how to reach the cash accepting infrastructure, and this is the key point, because the cards represents only from 15 to 25% of the payment volume in Russian e-commerce, depending on the sector of the industry.
Yeah. You probably heard of that PayPal has just started working in Russia as a full-fledged domestic currency. They could be used by Russian users before, but mainly on international websites. Now they're a full-fledged Russian currency, and it took them 7 years from their first attempt or thoughts to come to Russia to the day when they launched 1 month ago, after receiving all the authorization, etc., etc. From this point of view, you guys are very, very fast-moving players. Okay, and on the other way around, which is, we have also noticed that there are at least three Russian companies, big Russian companies, payment companies that are going global. The first one is WebMoney, which is a virtual currency that historically has presented itself as a Russian and international operator. The second one is Yandex Money, who is just starting to make agreements with international payment companies and operators like Skrill in order to be accepted, to have its currency accepted by foreign sites. Yandex Money is already a leading virtual currency in Russia, but they want to be accepted abroad. And of course, QIWI, which is a very interesting example and a brilliant example so far of a Russian payment company that are going abroad. Why? Because I think that you have invented in Russia, some 10 years ago, a system that is relevant in cash-based economies like Russia, and that allows in a very convenient way to collect payments, cash payments, and to turn them into electronic payments from people who are used to using cash. But Russia is not the only one country in this case. So you have expanded in other countries with similar cash situations, haven't you?
Yes, I would say that we still have a lot to do in Russia, because the market is very big and growing so fast. It's prognosed like 40% CAGR for the next year to grow. So I wouldn't say that for us international expansion this year is #1 priority. But beside that, as you say, that we are trying certain markets by reduplicating our success case in Russia. Mainly this is the emerging markets. Trying just to touch the fields and to see what is happening. For example, in Brazil, as you mentioned, it looks very promising, because the trends, what we see, like the growth of the payment volume per one cash accepting machine is much faster than we experienced in the beginning in Russia. So it's very promising. And we see the same kind of the attractive trends in some other countries. So our model is, in 7 countries we operate by ourselves. In the rest 16 countries we work through our franchise partners. Actually, our strategy is still to bring the Russian business case to the point when it would be, to build up the wallet for mobile network operators, to reach the huge volumes and huge size, because we don't want to go outside just introducing technology and the product. Our strategy is to to expand internationally at the moment when we would be able to represent the real business case with the figures, the business case how to monetize the huge customer base of the mobile network operators, for example. That's our strategy. Thank you.
Mark, you wanted to add something?
Because I'm curious, maybe expansion for me is a big topic, and I want to ask Yury a question. And we are talking about mobile, and I think the real cash is the most mobile thing you can have, because everybody has cash in his pocket, and we are talking about mobile, and the question is if you have your phone with a payment solution on, which is also so mobile. So as I understood you right, your company is at the moment working a lot with cash, right? And cash machines. So and do you think going to other countries outside of Russia, you need to have a different solution, or do you think you can come up with this with your solution? And what is your proposal for us coming to your country? Do we need a cash solution, or do you think it will change over time to wallets, to credit cards, or something like this? I think this is the interesting question about PAYMILL, about mobile payments here.
So definitely, if we look at this Central Europe or US or other developed markets, the business case is different. Actually, the ecosystem is different. Everybody has a card. I mean, in Russia, the card penetration is also very huge. We have almost 200 million cards issued. But still, the people behavior, the customer behavior is not to use the card as a means of the payment. They consider the cards as access to the cash on the bank account where the employer has paid the salary. So what they do actually, they run, after receiving the payments, they run after the ATM, get out the cash and bring this cash to our system. Yeah, so actually the cash accepting business case we're going to utilize in the same kind of the emerging market where the cash payment is dominating. For the Western countries, of course, the different models should be utilized. So our basic idea is to introduce the case for MNOs, because MNOs now are looking after the payment markets definitely, because they have done and everything what they can in terms of the providing the best communication services to their customers. What they're looking for now is how we can monetize their customer base, and they have huge customer base, much bigger than the bank has, you know. And that's what we are focusing on now. Answering on your second question, I think that definitely we will experience the trend in Russia, like the people would still be moving more and more into the card payments and online payments, and also the cash economy is growing very fast. So the ratio is mostly unchanged, you know, for the last years. And if you see in the prognosis of the Central Bank of Russia Federation, we don't see that for the nearest future, for the coming years, it would sort of flip somehow. So for you, definitely you should cooperate with the Russian retail banks who has the infrastructure. Think about the direct debit gateways to the bank accounts of the leading Russian banks, because the people still get the salary on the bank account. And of course, cooperate with companies like we are, who has the cash accepting infrastructure. And I think that the biggest challenge from one side, but from other side, every challenge is the biggest opportunity. This is to combat the cash on delivery. And here we are with you together. Yeah? And I think that your MPOS solutions, yeah, this is one of the that's new technology which can help us to somehow to take the part of this big, huge payment volume, which is the e-commerce transaction, but cash on delivery payments. Yeah.
I'm afraid we're out of time, so.
Sorry for asking.
No, that's okay. But unfortunately, there are so many things to talk about in this event, so the organizers are asking. But I have two suggestions for those who are interested in these topics. First of all, you may ask the speakers here, Peter, Mark, Rafael, and Yury in the TA Venture Lounge. They will be here in a minute. They will be there in a minute, and you can ask all your questions in the form of a private chat. So this is my first suggestion. The other suggestion, for those who are interested especially in the Russian market, in the Russian e-commerce and payment markets, East West Digital News is publishing in-depth reports and studies on these issues. in partnership with Pricewaterhouse and dozens of market players. So we will happily provide you with executive summaries of these studies if you're interested in them. So let's meet in the TA Venture Lounge to continue in a private way with our wonderful speakers, and I'm sorry for not being able to go deeper in this very rich topic.
All right. Thanks.